I mean, it's both, right? I mean, Jim and I sat down in his office this week, and we talked about just the objective of the week, right? And to if we feel like we're going to win the race, go win the race, right? But we also needed to be mindful of the points. We've gone to the Roval, I don't know how many years in the last handful, and you're racing your guts out just to try to make it in that next round, and we have the luxury of not having to do that. So those are big deals for me. But it's disappointing. You know, when we lost the track position there at the end of stage 2, you know, it was tough because I felt like, you know, our strength was being out front, and we made an adjustment on the car too that just didn't quite go with where we wanted to go. But I'm not disappointed in the call. You know, Jim Pullman is probably one of the few crew chiefs on pit road that is really willing to be aggressive and to make good calls on pit road, and sometimes they work for you and sometimes they don't. We see it all the time on the Cup side, here on the Xfinity side, and today just wasn't our day.
Did you, I mean, obviously you're hoping for a caution.
Praying for a caution, yes, Bob. I was.
But like, how many laps would you have needed? Like, when did you need that caution to come out?
I really needed 7 laps, probably 7 or 8 laps, just with the fall off that we were seeing on the tires. You know, traffic was obviously going to be difficult, right? But I think the deficit of tires was going to be 6, 7, 8 laps to maybe get back up there and have a shot at it. But, you know, these races anymore, they play out so uniquely. And look, I'm proud of how far we kind of maintained at. Like, we fell back, but then kind of where we maintained to was really important. And, you know, again, Jim was updating me on the points at the end there. If you're going to be slow, you might have to look good doing it. So I just started ripping the boards, and hopefully one of the photographers up there got a cool shot of me running right up against the fence. And they kept telling me, "Hey, we're locked in. Just don't be stupid." And that's not in my DNA. I wanted to go out there and I tried to pass back 2 cars and almost wrecked myself. So probably wasn't the smartest thing in the world, but at the end of the day, it works out.
I think you told him on the radio, like, this was, you know, I don't know if you guys understand how hard this is to hold on the older tires and do that. How hard is it? I mean,
I don't even know how to explain it, if I'm being honest. And you know, I think that's where it's tough, right? The competitor in you, knowing what's at stake, knowing what's next, knowing what next week is, and not having to worry about racing for points. You know, there's a fine line there. Look, until I stop racing cars, I'm always going to try to go as fast as I can and get the most speed out of it I can, and be as aggressive as I can be. And you know, when you're back there and you're on old tires and guys are swallowing you up and they're, you know, 2 inside, 1 outside, and you know, the aero game is getting played. It's so hard to manage. And I'm proud of our team. I think that's the hard part is, like, we finished, second, third, maybe second, fourth, whatever it was for Sammy and Connor. I think we were going to be right there with either one of those guys at the end if the strategy works out differently. So I'm proud of the effort. Just when it doesn't go the way you want it to, it's a bummer.
There was a new right side tire for this race. What did you think went through the race? Was it better for racing?
Well, we didn't have the failures like we had last year. So yes, it was better. I mean, tires weren't coming apart. You know, Goodyear put a lot of effort into this tire, and while I don't know that made the racing any better per se, and we weren't able to be 3 wide, right? But we were able to race and not fear of the kind of, not really blowing out. That wasn't what the issue was. We were just going through the tread, and we're able to now get back to, you know, working on our balance, setting it up where it needs to be, and obviously putting ourselves in great position.
I'm with Justin Allgaier. Justin Allgaier is moving on.
Justin, a question not about today. Rodney Childers, the news this week. Just wondering what you think he might bring to the company. Great name to have.
Yeah,
obviously.
Great name to have, and obviously somebody that's been, you know, really influential in this sport, right? A lot of race wins and championships, and just, you know, I mean, obviously we got to get him in the shop and get him, you know, involved with what we're doing at our shop. We have a great ecosystem in junior motorsports, right? Crew chiefs, engineers, drivers, mechanics. Everybody really has a really strong bond. And you add somebody that's got the success that he's got, and the work ethic and the knowledge. You know, I think that helps kind of make for you know, a potent combination, right? And we've obviously been running really good. There's no doubt he'll bring good information and good work ethic, and so I'm excited to see him get there. I've gotten along with Rodney for a number of years now on the circuit, and, you know, been around him a lot. So it'll be cool to kind of dive into his mind, see what he thinks, and you know, what advantages that can have for junior motorsports.
And a last question. There's been a lot of talk this week, well, a lot of talk all season about the playoff format. you're as a veteran yourself, like what playoff format would you like to see?
You know, it's bitten me and it's helped me, right? I've gone through both sides of it, and so I don't know that I'm the best person to ask that question to. You know, I used to love the old school points format where, you know, Daytona to Homestead or Phoenix, whichever one you want. Like next year, it'd be Homestead. You know, just go from one to the other, right? Those were cool moments for me. But at the same time, you know, you get a stretch of 2 or 3 bad races, you know, it can end your season. So, you know, I think for us, we just have to be mindful of a lot of things in our sport, right? NASCAR does a really good job of trying to think not only what helps the drivers and the teams, but what helps the fans and the sponsors. And so, whatever they decide, we'll make the most of it and go for it.
Thanks, man.
My Place Hotels is proud to be the official hotel partner of Frontstretch. With plush beds, in-room kitchens, and pet-friendly hotels, My Place makes for the perfect pit stop when traveling. Frontstretch fans can use promo code Frontstretch to save 10% on your stay at any of our nationwide properties. Sign up for our Stay Rewarded program to get even more savings. With My Place Hotels, don't just stay, stay rewarded.
I'm Caleb Barnes with Frontstretch.com. Come back soon for more great racing videos, and if you like us, don't forget to hit the subscribe button.